Let's talk a little bit about mobility. So mobility is pretty obvious in terms of what it means, right? The ability to embrace a user regardless of their location, regardless of the device from which they're connecting. Probably not a surprise to anyone, but these DaaS solutions that we're talking about, right? Things like VMware Horizon, things like Citrix, things like Azure Virtual Desktop, remote desktop services, terminal services, whatever your particular flavor preference may be, these were all initially designed as remote access solutions, right? So they were intended and built as a means of providing access to external users to internal resources. And for the longest time, that's really what VDI and DaaS by proxy were seen as, right? A remote access solution or an approach to remote computing. But what we started to see, and this is even pre-2020 and pre-hybridization of the workforce, is that by having that more simplified approach to management, by bringing all those resources into a single location, we started to see benefits where this was a good fit not only for our remote users, but also our internal users as well, right? It made sense to apply one solution to all of our folks, regardless of how they were connecting. So, another way to say that is it didn't matter if you were out of the office or in the office, you still accessed your stuff the same way. You still sat down at your desk and you still logged in and connected to a DaaS seat. And that does a couple of things for us, right? The obvious benefit there is, again, still having that simplified management approach to how we lock down and secure that environment and how we provide access to our applications and to our data. But it also gives us a universal user experience. That also makes those users incredibly much more supportable. It becomes a lot easier for us to apply help desk support to those users because we can start to eliminate some of the questions that we normally have to ask, right? Where are you connecting from today? What device are you using? What does your connectivity look like? Those things become much diminished concerns, if not eliminated concerns in this type of environment. Even if there's an issue within that DaaS seat, it's now significantly easier for us in IT to no longer have to troubleshoot that issue and instead just simply provision a brand new DaaS desktop to that user, right? And then just get rid of the desktop that they were connecting to. And what we've now done then is the equivalent of within a few seconds, maybe a minute, replacing the entire machine from which they're connecting, right? So something that in the past would have taken us days, potentially weeks to get a new device in, configure that device, get it set up for that user and get it back into their hands. We can now do that in a grand total of about 45 seconds, right? We can just go into a DaaS solution. We can get rid of that seat, have the user log off, have the user log back in, provision a brand new DaaS seat with all of their applications, and a vanilla configuration right out of the box with the way that IT wants to have that set up for them. So from a mobility perspective, again, a lot of benefit there, right? In terms of how we help our users, how we provide a better user experience, how we provide a universal user experience, and how we make that user experience much more supportable for everyone.